right. So are you ready to, like, deck the halls, but with something a little bit darker than tinsel? I mean, we're going deep diving into Creepmas today.
Creepmas.
Yeah, Creepmas. You heard right.
Huh, okay.
Apparently some people are ditching the, sugar plums for something a bit more sinister this time of year.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, like, Halloween is pretty popular these days, right? Like, lots of people love that spooky stuff.
Right, exactly. But this is like taking it to the next level. It's like Halloween and Christmas had a baby.
A kind of creepy baby.
Yeah, exactly. A creepy baby. And that creepy baby is Creepmas.
Okay, so how are we diving into this?
Well, we found this pretty awesome music video that just sums up the whole thing. It's called 12 Days of Creepmas. And
Okay, I'm intrigued.
yeah, it's wild. It takes those, like, traditional Christmas carols and mashes them up with all sorts of horror movie references.
Oh, so like a parody.
Yeah, but like a really well-made one.
Wait, when was this made?
Oh, this was back in 2020.
2020. The year of lockdowns.
Yep, maybe that's why it's so dark.
Makes sense. I mean, everyone was kind of on edge back then. Maybe Creepmas was a way to cope, Find some humor in the darkness.
Yeah, it's like gallows humor, but with, like, Christmas lights and fake blood.
I can dig it.
Okay, so this video wasn't just some random thing someone threw together. It was actually a collaboration between a few different groups.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this podcast called, get this, The Truth About Beer.
And
Wait, and? What's the and? Don't leave me hanging.
honestly, I have no idea. We'd have to listen to the podcast to find out. But they were involved in this. And then there's this thing called Super Horror Show, which I guess is like an anthology horror series. They were in on it too.
Okay, so we've got beer and horror. What else?
A whole bunch of horror cosplayers from all over the world got in on the action too.
Wow, so this is a global phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Canada, the US, Russia, all over.
Okay, but what about the video itself? What's so creepy about it? It's all in the lyrics. They basically took the 12 Days of Christmas and swapped out all the cute stuff for, well, let's just say things get a little gory. Like instead of 5 golden rings, we get, well, Reagan from The Exorcist.
Yeah, the head spinning, pea soup
no,
girl.
The one and only. So the 5 golden rings become something a little less family friendly, if you get what I'm saying.
Well,
Let's just say those rings are definitely not going on anyone's fingers.
okay, that's pretty dark. And it's from a podcast called The Truth About Beer.
Yeah, crazy, right? They must be a wild bunch.
I'll say.
But yeah, it's like for all the verses, like instead of 2 turtle doves, it's 2 bouncing boobies, courtesy of double dementia.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Right, and then there's like 9 human ribs, a gift from Leatherface himself.
Leatherface, like from Texas Chainsaw.
The one and only.
Okay, so they're not pulling any punches with the horror references.
Nope. And that's kind of the point, I think.
Yeah.
It's taking all that stuff we're usually afraid of and like making it fun.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what horror is all about? Like facing your fears, but in a safe way. It's all fake, but you still get that adrenaline rush.
Right, exactly. Plus it's funny, like in a super twisted way.
It's that kind of humor you can only share with people who get it. It's like an inside joke for horror fans.
So the big question is, why is this Creepmas thing catching on? What do you think?
Well, I think it's tapping into a couple things. First, there's this growing fascination with darker, more edgy stuff. You see it everywhere, not just horror movies. But also, I think people are kind of tired of the whole, super commercialized, saccharine sweet version of the holidays,
Yeah, for sure. It's like everyone's trying to sell you something. Buy this. Be happy. Spend money.
Yeah.
It gets old after a while.
Exactly. So Creepmas is like this breath of fresh air, even if it's a little, morbid.
Yeah. It's like saying, hey, it's okay to not be perfectly jolly all the time. And maybe even embracing the weird and the creepy.
Plus, let's be honest, some of those classic Christmas traditions are kind of creepy if you think about it. Like a strange dude breaking into your house to leave presents. And then there's that whole elf on the shelf thing that's just straight up surveillance.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely creepy. So maybe Creepmas is just acknowledging the weirdness that was already there.
Maybe. Or maybe it's something else entirely. Who knows?
Well, whatever it is, it's definitely interesting.
It is.
So think about it, folks. Would you celebrate Creepmas? And if so, what kind of terrifying gift would you give? Let us know. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep the lights on tonight.
Good idea.